श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। वागीशाद्याः सुमनसः सर्वार्थानामुपक्रमे यन्नत्वा कृतकृत्यास्यस्तन्नमामि गजाननं। शारदाम्भोजवदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं क्रियात्। सत्यज्ञानसुखस्वरूपममलं क्षीराब्धिमध्यस्थितं योगारूढमतिप्रसन्नवदनं भूषा सहस्रोज्ज्वलं त्र्यक्षं चक्रपिनाकसाभयवरान् बिभ्राणमर्कच्छविं छत्रीभूतफणीन्द्रमिन्दुधवलं लक्ष्मीनृसिंहं भजे। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किङ्करीयस्य सामाया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये। प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं तन्नृसिंहगुरुं भजे। श्रीसच्चिदानन्दशिवभिनव्यनृसिंहभारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान्। सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीं विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वं तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे। अज्ञानाञ्जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदन्तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विधुशेखरभारतीं। नारायणाय नलिनाय तलोचनाय नामावशेषितमहाबलिवैभवाय नानाचराचरविधायकजन्मदेशनाभीपुटाय पुरुषाय नमः परस्मै। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे। कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वभूतहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे शमादिनिलयं मुनिम्। Namaskaram everyone. With Sashtanga Pranamas to the Pada-padmas of the Ubhay Jagadgurus and Sharadamba. Today, as per the guidance of the Jagadguru, we will be discussing Bhagavad-pada's Bhashya of the Vishnusahasranama. So, as we all know, one of the most important texts in Sanatana Dharma is the Mahabharata. It is called the Panchama Veda, Bharata Panchamo Veda. It is called the Panchama Veda, the fifth Veda, because it is so full of information, not just about Vedanta, but just even about Rajaniti, about politics, about scholarship. There is literally no end to the amount of information that exists in Mahabharata. So within that Mahabharata, after the war is over, after the Kurukshetra war is over, pretty much after most of the Kshatriyas in Bharata are wiped out. So Yudhishthira is still grieving over all the death and carnage that has been caused. He visits the battlefield wherein Bhishma Pitamaha is still lying there alive. Although Bhishma was struck down by Arjuna on the 10th day of the war, Bhishma fell in such a way that his pranas would still be in his body until the time of his choosing. His father, Shantanu, Bhishma's father Shantanu, gave Bhishma a boon of Svecha Marana. Svecha Marana means he can choose, Bhishma can choose when his life leaves his body. So with that in mind, Bhishma was waiting for the Uttarayana Kala to happen, because as per Shastra, that is an auspicious time. And Bhishma being a yogi of the highest order, he preferred to leave his body then. So Bhishma was still alive. So in the meantime, what Yudhishthira was told by Krishna Paramatma is to go to Bhishma and to learn as much as he can in the time span before Bhishma departs this world. So that is where we get the Anushasanika Parva and things like that. So Anushasanika Parva literally means the Parva wherein Anushasana happens, the chapter or the book of Mahabharata in which Anushasana, instruction happens. And so Bhishma is both the grandsire, the scion of the race of Samanya Niti, what are the normal rules and words prescribed for the everyday human. So after all of this, the Vishnusahasranama starts. So we look at how that starts. Now, if we come to Bhagavad-pada, Bhagavad-pada, as we all know, and as the Acharyas have said numerous times, Bhagavad-pada's works are generally split into three categories. So at the most scholarly level, we have the Prasthanatrayi Bhashyas, the Bhashyas of the Brahma Sutras, of the Upanishads and of the Bhagavad-gita. In the middle, for the Madhyamadikaris, for people who are not so, whose mind is not so scholastically oriented, but who still do wish to study Vedanta, Bhagavad-pada wrote innumerable Prakarana Granthas. What is a Prakarana? Shastrika Desha Sambandham. It deals not with the entirety of the Shastra, but with a particular aspect of the Shastra. And there are numerous such Prakarana Granthas that Bhagavad-pada has penned: Tattvabodha, Atmabodha, Aparokshanubhuti, Swatmanirupana, Ekashloki, Dashashloki, Shatashloki, Sahasra, Upadesh Sahasri, and the same way Viveka Chudamani. So all of these are Prakarana Granthas that can be studied by literally anyone. There is no restriction on the study of Prakarana Granthas. And this is for people who are jignasus, people who wish to understand Vedanta, but are not as perhaps either scholastically competent or even just interested in that type of scholastic debate. So for such people, the Prakarana Granthas were written. And then at the simplest level, for the most simple seeker, Bhagavad-pada wrote so many stotras, starting from Bhaja Govindam, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathakami Bhavtume, Lakshmi Nrasimhamadehi Karavalambam, Lalita Pancharatnam, Hanumat Pancharatnam, Ganesha Bhajanga Prayada Stotram, Subramanya Bhajanga Prayada Stotram, Shiva Bhajanga Prayada Stotram, Rama Bhajanga Prayada Stotram, Sharada Bhajanga Prayada Stotram, Devi Bhajanga Prayada Stotram, Shiva Aparadha Kshamapana Stotram, Shivananda Hari, Saundarya Lahari, Kanakadhara Stotra, Kalyana Vishnustava. All of these, many people actually do not even know about the Kalyana Vishnustava. It's such Hrinkarameva Tavanama Grananti Vedaha. It is that stotra is the summation of the Maya Bija, of the Hrillekha, it is called, that particular Bijakshara is called. So people who read this stotra, for example, will get the same fruit that japa of that mantra produces. So in this way, for even the most simple seeker, Bhagavad-pada has written Devata Stotras, which also can be told by anyone, anywhere, anytime. That there is no, there is no strict regulation on the Stotra Parayana. But the great thing that Bhagavad-pada did is enshrined within the Bhakti, or the Devata Bhakti of the Stotras lies Atma Bhakti within. Devotion to the self, to the Paramatma, that is one with the Jivatma. Devotion to Advaita is what lies at the heart of these stotras. And we have spoken about that numerous times. Many speakers have spoken about that. But the reason why we have gone into Bhagavad-pada's works is because we need to figure out where this Vishnusahasranama Bhashya falls. So besides the Prasthanatrayi Bhashyas, there is another genre of Bhagavad-pada's texts called Laghu Bhashyas. So these are neither as scholastic as the Prasthanatrayi Bhashyas, nor are they as simple as the Devata Stotras. So the main ones that we see are the Sanat Sujatiya Bhashya. So the Sanat Sujati also occurs in Mahabharata. Sanat Sujata, the great sage, one of the Sanachatushtaya, Sanata, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, Sanat Sujata. These are four Manasa Putras of Brahma, of Chaturmukha Brahma. So they were born from Chaturmukha Brahma's heart. And they were born Jnanis. The second they were born, they came out as Jnanis. They did not wish to marry or procreate. And they remain as young children. So that Jnani of that order, Sanat Sujata, comes to Dhritarashtra, of all people. He comes to Dhritarashtra at Vidura's behest and teaches him Vedanta. So that is the Sanat Sujati and Mahabharata. Bhagavad-pada has written a bhashya for that. Lalita Trishati. So this is a very tantric stotra. Tantric in the sense that it deals with Upasana, it deals with Shri Vidya. So the first letter of all the names in this stotra are each parts of Devi's Mahamantra. So it starts with Kakara, there is Ekara in the middle, there is Lakara. So all of those, the Aksharas, there are some Hakaras. So all the names of Devi that come in Lalita Trishati are names that start with letters that come in Devi's Mahamantra. And even to this day, sometimes Acharya will do puja on Shukravaras, the Shri Chakra puja that we see Acharya do on Fridays. Sometimes, for the Kumkumarchana, Acharya will sometimes use Trishati. So, in that way, there is Lalita Trishati, and in the same way, we have the Vishnusahasranama Bhashya. So, what these Laghu Bhashyas do is, they will generally deal with some Devata, Sanatujati aside, Lalita Trishati and Vishnusahasranama Bhashya. These two kind of follow a similar pattern. So, it deals with the Devata, it will talk about Vishnu, for example, but underneath the names of Vishnu will lie Advaita Tattva. So, as we have titled it, it is this Bhashya of the Vishnusahasranama is multifaceted. Bhagavad-pada quotes Shruti, Bhagavad-pada quotes Smriti, Bhagavad-pada uses Puranas in some cases to explain the names, Bhagavad-pada uses Dharma in some places to explain the names, Bhagavad-pada uses legend, lore in some places to explain the names, sometimes it is Kshetras, sometimes it will be Bhagavad-gita, sometimes it will be Vibhutis. So it is not one or two things that Bhagavad-pada uses when Bhagavad-pada is doing the Vyakhyana of these 1000 names of Vishnumurti, of Ishvara, Vishnumurti. So, we need to focus. Obviously, Sanidhanam said, if you have to talk about Vishnusahasranama Bhashya, it will take a week to cover even the whole thing quickly. So, therefore, we need to isolate it, kind of divide and conquer. So, we need to pick some portions, certain aspects that we can look into in these 2 days that we have. And as per Acharya's directive, today we will be looking at Bhagavad-pada's conception of Bhakti. And in the second day, tomorrow, we will be looking at Bhagavad-pada's use of the Puranas. So to preface these on each day, the reason why we have chosen, or Acharya has decreed that we will speak about Bhakti today, is because there is an unfortunate rumor in the world today that because Bhagavad-pada proclaimed the Aikya, the unity of the Jivatma and Paramatma, because the Advaita Siddhanta states that all is one, there is no multiplicity, because the Advaita Siddhanta states Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman, you are that Brahman, because this is the nature of the Advaita philosophy that Bhagavad-pada was the champion of, people think that Bhagavad-pada denounced Bhakti. That Bhagavad-pada says that there is no need for Devata Bhakti. Who are you to worship? Who is there to be worshipped? Everything is one. People say that Bhagavad-pada, opposed Bhakti. Nothing could be farther from the truth. The simple fact is, or the most simple evidence on the contrary, is that Bhagavad-pada wrote so many Devata Stotras with the utmost Bhakti. So many Stotras with the utmost Bhakti. And at times even taking upon qualities that do not apply to Bhagavad-pada but actually apply to us. Right? In the Shivananda Lahari, Bhagavad-pada says, Smrito Shastre Vaidye Shakuna Kavita Gana Panido Purane Mantreva Stuti Natana Hasye Shvachatura Katham Rajnam Pritir Bhavati Mai Koham Pashupate Pashummam Sarvajnam Prasita Kripaya Palaya Vibho. Bhagavad-pada says. What does the shloka say? Bhagavad-pada is saying in this, I do not know Shruti, I do not know Smriti, I do not know Kavitva, I do not know poetry, I do not know the Vedas, I do not know Dharma Shastra, I do not know the Puranas, I do not know mantras. Who will protect me if not you? Can we even imagine this to be true for Bhagavad-pada? Bhagavad-pada, who is the essence of the knowledge of all of the Upanishads, all of the Vedas, all of the Shrutis, all of the Smritis, someone who wrote the Prapanchasara Tantra. If he says, I do not know mantras, someone who wrote the Prapanchasara Tantra, explaining the mantras of every single devata, explaining the vidhis to be used with the mantras of every single devata, explaining the bijaksharas of all the devatas that exist. If someone of that caliber says, Mantreshu Achatura, I do not know mantras, who can we believe that? So the only viable explanation is that Bhagavad-pada was writing that for us. Bhagavad-pada stressed Bhakti so much that Bhagavad-pada wrote from the perspective of a Bhakta like us. So there is no doubt, there should be no doubt in our minds that Bhagavad-pada wholeheartedly supported Bhakti and decreed Bhakti to be necessary for Jnana Sadhana. Because, as we have said numerous times, between Jnana and Karma lies the middle path of Upasana, wherein lies Bhakti also. So, we will be looking at how Bhagavad-pada has conceptualized Bhakti, has fit Bhakti into Bhagavad-pada's system, and the way that Bhagavad-pada has integrated Bhakti into the system that involves Jnana and Karma. And to do this, for today, in today's session, we will be solely focusing on the Purva Pitika of the Vishnusahasranama, which means that we will actually not even be looking at a single name. We will not even be looking at Vishnu. We will only be looking at the Purva Pitika. So starting from Shrutva Dharmanyasheshena Bhavanani cha Sarvasha Yudhishthira Shantanam Punareva Bhashata. Starting from there until Vishnur Nama Sahasrame Shrupa Bhayapaham Yanavani Gaunani Vikhyatani Mahatma Shivah Prigitani Vani Vakshani Bhutaye. Until there, that is the Purva Pitika. From there, we have Vishnu Rashatkara. In today's world, it has become prevalent to say Tani Vakshamate, Rishat Nam Sahasrasya Vedam Vyasa Mahamani Chandona Shrutsa Deva Bhagavan Devaki Sutta Amritam Shuddho Bijam Shankar Devakanna. That is all there. It is in shloka form, so it is not wrong to tell. But generally speaking, these Chandas, Rishi, Bija, Shakti, all of these are usually not chanted. They can be chanted because they are in shloka form. There is nothing wrong. I'm just saying that they are usually not chanted, and they are also not part of the Mahabharata Mula. They were put in later on to tell us the nature of the stotra. For this stotra, this is the Bija. For this stotra, this is the Shakti. For this stotra, this is the Kilaka, like that. So they are not part of Mahabharata. So if you look at the Mahabharata Samhita, the shloka krama, Tani Vakshami Bhutaye, Vishnu Vashatkaro, Bhuta Bhagavad, it will be like that. Yani Namani Gaunani Vikhyatani Mahatmana, Rishipari Gita, Nitani Vakshami Bhutaye, Vishnu Vashatkaro, Bhuta Bhagavad, Bhuta Vidbhava, Bhutatma, Bhuta Bhavana. That is how the sequence will be in Mahabharata. So up until Tani Vakshami Bhutaye is what is called the Purva Pitika or Bhumika, basically the Purvaranga, the prologue, the introduction to the 1,000 names. So what is mentioned in this is Yudhishthira's question. So Yudhishthira actually asks 6 questions to Bhishma Pitama, and Bhishma answers with 6 answers and then goes on to talk about what kind of a Vishnusahasranama he is telling. So all this aside, Bhagavad-pada then goes into a vichara where it says Kimekam Devatam Loke. In that, when after Bhishmacharya answers that question, Bhagavad-pada goes into a long vichara, which is where we will get Bhagavad-pada's original ideas. In the sense that they are not vyakhyanas per se to the mula, they will not be an explanation exactly one-to-one form of the Mahabharata shlokas, but they are topics and elements to be considered that will help us understand Vishnusahasranama as a whole, which is why we will be using those vicharas also to look at Bhagavad-pada's conception of Bhakti. So here I have in front of me the Purva Pitika of the Vishnusahasranama. So it starts with Shrutva Dharma Nasheshena Avanani cha Sarvasha Yudhishthira Shantanam Punarevabhya Bhashata. So Ashesham Dharmani Shrutva, Yudhishthira has been listening to dharmas for a while. There are so many stories that Bhishmacharya told, so many nitis that Bhishmacharya told, so many morals, so many dharma sukshmas that Bhishmacharya told. So after hearing all of that though, Yudhishthira felt the need to ask something else. So now we can say Yudhishthira has heard all of the dharmas, right? Asheshena. The Bhishmacharya did not leave even one dharma to the imagination of Yudhishthira. Bhishmacharya told Yudhishthira all the dharmas that were necessary for a king and for a human. But Yudhishthira still felt the need to ask a question. So what is that need? Bhagavad-pada has written in the Bhashya. Dharmaputraha Shantanam Shantanuputram Bhishmam Sakala Purushartha Sadhanam Sukha Sampadyam Alpa Prayasam Analpa Phalam Anuktam Iti Kritva Punaha Puyaha Eva Abhyabhashata Prashnam Kritavan is what Bhagavad-pada has written there. So Yudhishthira felt that there is one thing that is Anuktam, that one thing that was not told yet. What is that? Sakala Purushartha Sadhanam, a means to attain all of the Purusharthas, some means to attain Dharmartha Kama Mokshas. Sukha Sampadyam, that can be done happily, Sukha Sampadyam. Alpa Prayasam, that does not involve much effort from the individual side. Analpa Phalam, but something that yields great fruit, great result. Anuktam, such a means of dharma has not been told. So a means to attain the 4 Purusharthas, a means to attain Dharmartha Kama Moksha that is both pleasant, does not involve too much effort from the individual side, but one that yields a lot of fruit. Such a means to the Purusharthas has not been told yet by Bhishmacharya. Therefore, Yudhishthira is asking. So Yudhishthira's question spans 2 shlokas. In those 2 shlokas, there are 6 questions. Kimekam daivatam loke, kimvapyekam parayanam, stuvantah kamarchantah prapnuyir manava shubham, ko dharmas sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah, kim japan muchyate jantur janma samsara bandhanat. So these are 6 questions that Yudhishthira has asked. So, the first one, Kimekam Devatam Loke. What is the one Devata in this world? Remember this Ekam Devatam. What is the one Devata in this world? Kimvapi Ekam Parayanam. Parayanam is the highest state. So, what is the highest state that exists in this world? The greatest avastha, the greatest sthiti that exists in this world. Stuvantah kam manavaha shubham prapniyuhu. Praising whom do humans attain prosperity, welfare, auspiciousness? Kam stuvantah, praising. And in the same way, kam archantaha shubham prapniyuhu. So praising, the third question is, praising whom do humans attain mangala? The fourth question is, worshipping whom do humans attain auspiciousness? So that is the difference in the 2 questions. Then the 5th question, ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavatah paramo matah. What do you hold to be the greatest dharma among all dharmas? The 6th question is, kim japan muchyate jantuhu janma samsara bandhanat. So doing japa of what will a being attain moksha from this samsara? Will they attain release from this cycle of birth and death? Right, so if you go over the 6 questions again, what is the one devata that exists in this world? What is the greatest state the most elevated state, the most exalted state that exists in this world? Worshipping and praising whom do manavas attain sukha? And then, what is the greatest dharma out of all dharmas, in your opinion? And doing japa of what do beings attain release from samsara? So these are the 6 questions that Yudhishthira has asked. So there, Bhishma Pitamaha asks there, Bhishma Pitamaha replies there, Jagat Prabhum Deva Deva Manantam Purushottamam Stuvannama Sahasrena Purushas Satatothitaha. So this is the answer to Kim Japan Muchyate Janto. So Yudhishthira asked, Kim Japan, what should I do japa? What should any being, a jantu, do japa of to get released from samsara? So there Bhagavad-pada writes in the question itself, Kim japyam japan uchcha upamshu manasa lakshanam japan kurvan jantuho janana dharma anena jantu shabdena japa archana stavanadisha yathayogyam sarva prananam adhikaram suchayati. So this is a very beautiful thing that Bhagavad-pada has written. So first of all, Bhagavad-pada has said that japa is of 3 lakshanas: uchcha, upamshu and manasa. So those are the 3 types of japa that are told in Tantra. Uchcha means doing mantra japa out loud, the way I am doing it right now. Oh, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, like that. Then upamshu japa means only the lips move, there is no audible sound. Like that. Then there is manasa japa, wherein there is no kayika or manasika vyapara. There is no movement or no action from the side of the body or speech. The japa happens only in the mind. And the difference that Shastra has told is, upamshu japa is more powerful, more potent than uchcha japa, than japa done out loud. And manasika japa done solely in the heart, is more potent, is more powerful than upamshu japa done moving the lips. And obviously the reason is obvious, because when they are getting more and more subtle, and it is obviously much easier to keep repeating something with the mouth out loud than it is to hold something in the heart and not let the mind get diverted. For example, if you're not moving the lips or the mind and you're saying Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya over and over again, it is very easy for this Namah Shivaya to go and for tomorrow's dinner to pop into the mind for whatever reason. Right? So for that reason, each of these is said to be more meritorious than the previous. So Uchcha Japa, doing it out loud, more meritorious than Uchcha Japa is Upamshu Japa, doing Japa just moving the lips. Then more meritorious than Upamsha Japa is Manasika Japa, doing Japa solely in the heart. So Japa is of those three natures. Then Bhagavad-pada also glossed the word Jantu. So Jantu means Jananashili Jantu. So one whose nature is to be born is Jantu. So by saying this, so Jantuhu Muchyate, doing Japa of what does a Jantu be released? So by saying the word Jantu and not Manushya or Manava or Nara, by using the word Jantu and not saying the word human, basically Bhagavad-pada says that it is shown that Adhikara to do Japa is there for all living beings. Forget about Brahmanas, forget about other Varnas, forget about men, women, this, that. There is no limit on who can do Japa. On Bhagavan Nama Japa, there is absolutely no limit at all. So that is what Bhagavad-pada is saying. Jantu Shabdena Japa Archana Stavanadishu Yathayogyam Sarva Praninam Adhikaram Sujayati. Yathayogyam. As per the differences in each living being, all of them will have the capacity to do Nama Japa of Bhagavan in some form or the other. And also Bhagavad-pada expands the word Japa to mean Japa, Archana, Stavana. Every single living being on this planet has the capability to do Japa, worship and praise of Bhagavan in some way or the other. The way might differ, but every single being has the adhikara to do it. So now this one line itself is enough to show us how much of our traditional reformer Bhagavad-pada was, how open-minded Bhagavad-pada was in that day. For someone that people dared to say he was against Bhakti, he limited the reach of this knowledge to people in society, for people that put up such crazy statements as that. This is a very simple statement to show how much Bhagavad-pada intended to show that the path of Vedanta and the path of sadhana is open to everyone. Because as we have seen in the text, all it says that doing japa of what does a being attain moksha. We will all definitely understand to mean, okay, what should a human do japa of to get liberation from samsara? But Bhagavad-pada went out of his way to show that that line means that all beings have the adhikara, all beings have the right to worship Bhagavan, all beings have the right to do nama japa of Bhagavan, all beings have the right to praise Bhagavan in one form or the other, and that such nama japa, such worship, such praise of Bhagavan will help them become released from samsara. Sarva praninam, there is no difference. All beings, yatha yogyam, as per their nature, as per their adhikara, all beings can do Bhagavan nama japa, all beings can do Bhagavan nama smarana, and thereby be set on the path to release from samsara. So that is the greatness of Bhagavad-pada. So now Bhishmacharya is responding to Yudhishthira's question. Jagat Prabhum Devadevam Anantam Purushottamam Stvannama Sahasrena Purushaha Sadadotthitaha. So what did Yudhishthira ask? Kim Japan Muchyate Jatam. So what should a being do japa of? Here Bhishmacharya has said Jagat Prabhum Devadevam Anantam Nama Sahasrena Stvan. So praise the Paramapurusha with these 1,000 names. So what should japa? So what japa should be done? Japa of these 1,000 names is the answer that has come. Then the question where Kamarchantaha Manavaha Shubham Prapniyuhu. Doing puja to whom will humans find Shubha? Will humans find auspiciousness? So the answer to that is Tameva Charchayam Nityam Bhaktya Purushamayam Dhyayam Stuvan Namasyamashya Yajamanas Tameva Cha. So Tameva Archayam. So the person that is praised with those 1,000 names, the Jagat Prabhu, the master of this world, Devadeva, the God among gods, Anantam, Ananta, the person who has no end, Purushottamam, Tameva Archayam Nityam Bhaktya. Someone who does puja to him will receive Shubha. And here, the Bhagavad-pada glosses the names, right? So here, what does the shloka say? Dhyayam Stuvan Namasyamashya. There are three things here. So there, Archantaha is the question. So Archana means to do puja. So Bhagavad-pada has, in the shloka, there are three more kriyapadas used. Dhyayan, meditating, Stuvan, praising, Namasyan, doing namaskara, physical namaskara. So Bhagavad-pada has glossed this threefold division in two ways. One way is Puja Shesha Bhutam Ubhayam Stuti Namaskara Lakshanam Dhyanam Abhyantara Archanam Kurvan. So Dhyayan means doing puja to Bhagavan internally. Right? So for example, when we do mantra japa, we will do the Panchopachara puja, right? Prithivya Apnaya Madan Mangalpyami, Akasha Apnaya Mapushpam kalpiyami. Like that we do the puja, right? The Panchopachara puja. So when we do that, we are supposed to be visualizing puja being done to whichever devata it is in our hearts. So that is Abhyantara Archana. That is being done by Dhyayam. A physical namaskara, namasyan, stuvan, physical praise, verbal praise, is said to be Bhashya puja. So Bhashya and Abhyantara puja, puja done to Bhagavan both within and without, is being taken by this. So Bhagavad-pada is saying, Tameva archayan stuvantah kam archanta. So the puja that someone does of Bhagavan to get Shubha is of twofold. Is of two kinds. It can be Bhashya or Abhyantara. The second way that Bhagavad-pada has glossed this Dhyayam Stuvan Namasyan is we have three karanas, right? We have Mano, Vak, Kaya, the mind, speech and the body. So what Bhagavad-pada has shown how we can worship Bhagavan with each of these faculties. Dhyayam with the mind, meditating with the mind, Stuvan, praising with speech, Namasyan, doing Namaskara with the body, Sashtanga Pranama with the body. So thus Bhagavad-pada has shown us that the puja has three components to it. First, puja is twofold and puja has three components to it. The twofold puja needs to be done both physically to Bhagavan, so with a murti, offering flowers, offering Argya, Padya, all of that, as well as Abhyantara Archana. Archana being done within. So Bhagavad-pada has already shown us in the Bhashya that there are two types of puja. There are pujas that you can do to a physical Bhagavan, physical manifestation of Bhagavan outside, as well as the worship you can offer to Bhagavan inside. And the second thing, how Bhagavad-pada told us to do puja, the means is we need to involve our mind, speech and body. So Bhagavad-pada's conception of puja for it to be fruitful for humans. Stuvan, Shubham, Prapnir Manava Shubham. A puja that yields proper auspiciousness to a bhakta is a puja that is done in this way, with complete devotion in thought, deed and mind. So that is the way that Bhagavad-pada has conceptualized that. So that is the answer to Kamarchantaha. Then Stuvantah Kam, praising whom do humans get Shubha, is one of the questions that Yudhishthira asked. So here the answer given by Bhishma is Anadi Nidhanam Vishnum Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksham Stuvan Nityam Sarva Dukkhadigo Bhavet. So doing Stotra of Anadi Nidhanam, one who has neither Adi, beginning, nor Nidhana, death. Vishnum, Sarvavyapaka, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, one who commands the entire cosmos. Lokadhyaksham, one who knows everything that is going on in the world. So usually Adhyaksha means the master. But here Bhagavad-pada has taken it to mean Adhi Aksha, basically to mean Pratyaksha. So Loka Pratyaksham, Lokam Pratyak, Lokaha Pratyaksham Yasya, one to whom the Loka is Pratyaksha. Doing praise of such a Paramatma, Sarva Dukkhadigo Bhavet. A human transcends all sorrow. Then Brahmanya Sarvadharnya Lokana Kritam Lokana Mahabodham Sarvabodham. Then Yudhishthira asked one more question. I am skipping over some shlokas because we need to pick and choose our battles given the time constraint and the topic taken. So then another question that Yudhishthira has asked is Ko dharmas sarva dharmanam bhavatah parano mataha. Which dharma amongst all dharmas do you hold to be the highest? So here Bhishmacharya is answering Eshame sarva dharmanam dharmo jagataro mataha yat bhaktya pundarikaksham staverarchen narasada. I find this to be the greatest dharma of all. The dharma, this is dharma, that a human worship Pundarikaksha, Vishnu, with the utmost bhakti. Vishnu means Paramatma here. So here Bhagavad-pada writes, what is the nature of this Tavana? So amongst so many dharmas, right? So what is dharma? Chodana Lakshanartho Dharma. That which is the Mimamsa Sutra. So what is dharma? That which is Chodana Lakshana, that which is enjoined by the Vedas, right? That which the Vedas tell us to do. And Artha means Anartharahitaha, that which is devoid of any ill effects, is dharma. Right? So for example, Veda tells us to do Kale Sandhyam Upasita. So you should do Sandhya Upasana at the proper time. So that is enjoined by Veda and it is Anartharahita. There are no ill effects to doing Sandhya. So therefore Sandhya becomes dharma in such a way. Then the convert is also willing to look at. There is one yaga called Shyana Yaga. Abhicharan Shyena Yajayata. Shatruvadha Kamaha Abhicharan Shyena Yajayata. Someone who desires his enemies to be killed should do this yaga called Shyena Yaga. So in that, it is an Abhichara Yaga. which means that it has pratyavaya. Once you do the yaga, your enemy will die, but it will also give you papa. You will have to go through naraka for it. So this is not devoid of ill effects. So therefore, the Shena yaga does not get factored into the definition of dharma. So amongst all the things that are basically taught by Vedika Vangmaya, all of these are dharmas. So amongst all of these, what is the greatest one? Bhishmacharya is saying, doing praise of Vishnu. So then, obviously, this begs the question: amongst all of those, why is this the greatest? Right. So, first of all, where does it say in Veda that we should do praise of Bhagavan? So, in the Upanishad, we have Mukshave Sharanamaham Prapadye. That is the line in Upanishad. Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purnam. Yo Ve Vedamshcha Prahinoti Tasmai. Tagumhadeva Matma Buddhim Prasadam. Mukshave Sharanamaham Prapadye. So that Parameshwara who created Brahma in the beginning of the cosmos, that Bhagavan, that Paramatma who taught Veda, who gave the Vedic Vangmaya to Brahma in the beginning of the cosmos, we do Sharanagati to that Paramatma seeking moksha. Is the purport of this mantra. So Veda itself is telling us that we should do Sharanagati to Bhagavan, we should seek refuge in Bhagavan, we should worship Bhagavan. So therefore, Bhagavad-pada is saying, so what is it that sets aside this praise of Bhagavan as a dharma rather than the others? Bhagavad-pada writes, Asya stuti lakshanasya archanasya adhikye kim karanam. So what is the cause of the adhikya, of the illustriousness of this Bhagavad Stotra? Uchyate himsadi purushantara dravyantara desha kaladi niyama anapekshatvam adhikye karanam. Bhagavad-pada says here. So the greatness of Bhagavan Nama Smarana, the greatness of Bhagavan Nama Japa, see, the other thing is, from now on, Bhagavad-pada is writing this. This is not there in Mahabharata. So whatever is being put forth is completely, fully Bhagavad-pada's thoughts based on Shastra, and it was Bhagavad-pada's choice to write this here. So look at the gravity that Bhagavad-pada has placed on Bhagavan Nama Japa. Himsa adi anapeksham. So in some yajnas there is Pashuhimsa that is done. That is not there in Bhagavan Nama Japa. Purushantara apeksha is there in other yagas. So first yagas, you need Ritviks, you need a Yajamana, you need a Hota, you need a Udgata. The yaga is not done by just one person. You need several people to do a yaga. For Nama Japa, you do not need anyone else. If you have yourself and your heart, that is enough. And then Dravyantara apeksha. First of all, yagas cost lakhs and lakhs to do. That aside, there will also be normal dravyas, right? You have to put in ghee into the fire, this purodasha, sanaya, this or that. You have to put some dravya into the fire. There are no other dravyas needed for Nama Japa. You can sit as you are, you can close your eyes and do Nama Japa for as long as you want, however much you want. And Desha Kaladi Niyama Apeksha. That is also not there. So for yagas, for example, Darshapurna Masas. These are yagas that need to be done. Vasante Brahmana Agni Madadhita. Agnyadhana needs to be done by Brahmana in Vasanta Kala. So until Vasanta comes, he needs to sit there waiting. He cannot do Agnyadhana in Grishma in summer or in the winter. He has to wait for spring to come. And in the same way, the Darsha Purnamasa yagas are there. These yagas need to be done either during Darsha, during Amavasya, or during Purnima, during the full moon. So those yagas can only be done at the proper time. And also there are certain places where they need to be done. There is a Vedi, there is a place where the Yajna Mantapa is, there is a Sadas, there are different places in the yaga. So Japa has no need of these places and times. It is totally free of these restrictions of places. I'm talking Bhagavan Nama Japa, I'm not talking about Mahamantras. Panchalashi, Shodashi, Shri Vidya, Shakti Panchakshari, Shiva Shadakshari, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about Kevala Bhagavan Nama Japa, which itself is a very great act. That is what Bhagavad-pada is saying. For these, there is no time, there is no place. Anyone, anywhere, anytime can do it. That is the greatness. And on top of that, Bhagavad-pada quotes a shloka from Manusmriti. So not just Veda Pramana, but Smriti Pramana also is there. This is a shloka that Acharya also tells Upasakas many times. So when people either take Mantra Diksha from Acharya, or when they come to Acharya, this is a shloka that Acharya, I have seen Acharya quote many times. Japyenaiva tu samsiddhet brahmanaha natra samshayaha kuryadanyan nava kuryat maitro brahmana uchyate. Japenaiva hi samsiddhet brahmanaha. So for someone to attain siddhi, japa is the number one highway to get siddhi. Kuryanyan Navakurya. He can do other things he cannot do besides his Nitya Karma. He has to do his Nitya Karma. Besides his Nitya Karma, Japa itself will suffice. There is no need to do other Nitya Karma, other Parayana, other this, other that, Pradakshinas, Tirtha Sevana. All of that is secondary. The highway to Siddhi for anyone, for a sadhaka is, besides their Nitya Karma, it is Japa, is what Manusmriti is saying. So Bhagavad-pada has quoted that as well. So then, if we go back to the text in Mahabharata, so then there is another question that Yudhishthira has asked. Kim vapyekam parayanam? What is the greatest thing in this world? So then Bhishmacharya says, Paramayyo mahattejaha, Paramayyo mahattapaha, Paramayyo mahat brahma, Paramayyah parayanam. There is one entity that is the greatest of all luminaries, the greatest of all tapas, means the greatest of all things that command. That is what Bhagavad-pada has written here. Tapati, ishte, Paramayyo mahattapaha, that which commands everything else. Paramayyo mahat brahma, that which is parabrahma. Paramamyah parayanam, that is the parayana, is what Bhishmacharya is given the answer here. Then, Kimekam Daivatam Loke is the question that, another question that Yudhishthira has asked. So here, Bhishma Pitamaha is responding. Pavitranam pavitrayaha, Mangalanam cha mangalam, Daivatam devatanam cha, Bhutanam yaha abhyayah pita. This is the answer. So what is the greatest devata? This is the answer to that question. Pavitranam pavitram yaha, that which is the most auspicious amongst all the auspicious. Mangala, the most pure amongst pure things. Mangalanam cha mangalam, that which is the most auspicious amongst auspicious things. Daivatam devatanam cha, that which is the God among gods. Bhutanam yaha abhyayah pita, which is that which is the timeless, changeless progenitor of all beings. So if you look at the Bhashya here, Pavitranam pavitrayaha, that which is the most auspicious of auspicious things. There Bhagavad-pada writes, Pavitranam pavananam tirthadinam pavitram. So what is the cause for Paramatma to be so pure? The reason is, look at the beauty in the Bhakti. The line that Bhagavad-pada writes, Paramastu Puman, that Paramapurusha, Dhyataha, Trishtaha, Kirtitaha, Stutaha, Sampujitaha, Smritaha, Pranataha. So it is enough if he is just dhyataha, thought of, drishtaha, seen, kirtitaha, praised, stutaha, namajapa is done, sampujitaha, worshipped, smritaha, remembered, pranataha, you do one namaskara to him. What will he do? Papmanaha sarvan unmolayati, he uproots all the babas. And for that reason, this is said to be the greatest, Pavitranam Pavitram, the most purificatory thing of all purifying things. Then Mangalanancha Mangalam, why is it the most auspicious of auspicious things? That is also told. Mangalanancha Mangalam, Sukham tat sadhanam tat jnapakancha, Tesham Paramananda Lakshanam Paramangalam. So what do we term auspiciousness? Anything that causes sukha, right? Anything that gives us happiness. So the birth of a child is said to be auspicious. Why? It gives us happiness. Lakshmi coming into the house, wealth coming into the house is said to be auspicious. Why? Because it gives us happiness. Arogya, good health is said to be auspicious. Why? Because good health gives us happiness. So because Brahmananda, right, attainment of that Brahman, knowledge of that Brahman, because it gives us the greatest ananda of all anandas, it is said to be the most auspicious out of all auspicious things. Daivatam devatanam cha, Bhutanam yaha abhyayah pita. So now, Bhagavad-pada raises a question. Nanu katham eko devaha. So in Yudhishthira's question, what was there? Kim ekam daivatam loke. What is the single devata that exists in this world? Right. So now Bhagavad-pada asks, Nanu katham eko devaha. How is it that there is only one devata in this world? There are so many, right? And also on top of that, Jiva Parameshwara yor bhedat. And also because the Jiva and Parameshwara seem to be different. So how can you say that there is only one Deva? Because Deva means Prakashanashila, Yotanat Deva, that which shines as the light of consciousness, as Chaitanya. So because the Jiva has Chaitanya and because Paramatma has Chaitanya, already you have multiplicity. Right? So there is no one Deva, there is no one Prakashanashila, there are no two Prakashanashilas. And even within that Parameshwara, there are so many varieties. Devi, Shiva, Vishnu, Ganesha, Surya. There are so many differences in the form difference between the Jiva and Paramatma also is there. Nanu katham eko devaha, how is it that we can say there is only one Devata? There, Bhagavad-pada shows the Shruti Pramana, iti chet, na, that is not the case. There is no multiplicity in Chaitanya, there is only one Chaitanya. Eko devaha bahudha sannivishtaha. This is a Veda Vakya. There is only one Deva, only one Prakashana Shila Paramatma, only one Paramatma, that is the nature of Chaitanya, that is situated in everything. And in the same way, Tvamekosi Bahun Anupravishtaha, that is another Veda Vakya that Bhagavad-pada has quoted here. Kasmai Devaya Harsha Vidhema, there is another list of mantras. So here now Bhagavad-pada has quoted several mantras that show that there is no multiplicity in Chaitanya, there are not many Devas, and there is no difference between the Jiva and Ishvara, but it is the same Daivata, the Ekam Daivatam. It is that one Daivata that is present in all beings. And then there is a long list here of all the Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Itihasas where Kirtana of this Aikya is done. And I have just chosen some shlokas among those to share with you today, especially those that show Hari-Hara Aikya. Because Bhagavad-pada was a massive proponent. He had to reinforce the fact that Shiva and Vishnu are one. Because this Dvesha between Shiva and Vishnu was rampant even in those days, between Shiva Bhaktas and Vishnu Bhaktas. Obviously, Shiva and Vishnu are very fond of each other. But for whatever unfortunate reason, their followers in some places hate each other. Each hate the other Devata. That there is no room for that at all. There is no toleration of Anya Devata, Ninda at all in the Smarta Sampradaya, in Bhagavad-pada Sampradaya. So Bhagavad-pada does not just say that, but he quotes, Bhagavad-pada quotes from Puranas. For example, in Bhashya Purana, there are two shlokas that Bhagavad-pada quotes. So in that Purana, Shiva is saying this to Chaturmukha Brahma. Vishnor anyanto pashyanti yevam brahmanameva kutarka matayaha mudhaha pachyante narakeshvadaha. Those mudhaha, those deluded fools that think that I or you are different from Vishnu, adhaha, they go straight down, narake pachyante, they get cooked, they get roasted in naraka. In the same way, yecha mudha duratmana bhinnam pashyanti mam harehe brahmanam cha tadastasmat brahmahatyasam tvagam. Those people that see me, Vishnu and Brahma as separate, those people have attained brahmahatya pataka. The papa that you get from killing a calm, peaceful Brahmana that has studied Veda and Shastra, you will get that same papa from seeing Veda in Hari, Hara and Brahma. So this is a Purana Vachana. This is not Bhagavad-pada Sakapola Kalpana. These are not shlokas written by Bhagavad-pada. These are the Puranas holding. In the same way, in Harivamsha. So Harivamsha is the Kila Parva of the Mahabharata. In that also there are some shlokas where Shiva is stating to Vishnu. Shiva is telling Vishnu, Aham tvam sarvago deva tvameva aham janardana avayor antaran nasti shabdair arthair jagatpade. I am you, you are me. There is no difference. Avayor antaran nasti. There is no difference between you and me. And on top of that, Ishvara says, Namani tava govinda yani loke mahanticha tanyeva mama namani natrakarya vicharana. Ishvara is saying to Vishnu, those names that you have in the world, those same names belong to me also. My names are your names are my names. Namehi arthaihi jagatpate is said. So whether in the names or in their meanings, there is no difference. Your names are my names are your names. The meanings of my names are you, the meanings of your names are me. Which is why in Vishnusahasranama we have Sharabha, Rudraha, Shivaha, Shambhuho, Sthanuhu. All of these names that we usually see applied to Shiva, we get in this. And this Bhagavad-pada has quoted in Vishnusahasranama. There is another great Advaitin, a descendant of the great Appaya Dikshitendra called Nilakantha Dikshita, who wrote several things. Shivalilarnava, beautiful kavya, Kalividambana, beautiful satirical work. In that he has also written Shiva Tattva Rahasya. It is a Vyakhya of the Shiva Ashtottara Shatanamali, Shiva Maheshwara Shambhavina Gejashekara. In that, towards the end, Mahadevo Vyayo Harihi Bhaganetra Vedavyaktastaragah Parameshwara. So those are the names that come in the Shiva Ashtottara. Mahadevaha, Avyayaha, Harihi. The word Hari comes. So in that, while doing Vyakhyana of Hari, so this word Hari has now come in reference to Shiva, because it is Shiva Stotra only. There, Nilakantha Dikshita has quoted the same shloka to show that Shiva and Vishnu are one. So that is another great Vishesha of Bhagavad-pada's conceptualization of Bhakti, in that these devatas are not different. The Paramatma worshipped in all of these different forms is one and the same. There is no difference in Hari and Hara. Then there is one more thing that Bhagavad-pada then says. So, okay, so you are saying what? That one Paramatma has entered into this, right? Eko Devaha Sarvabhuteshu Bodha. One Paramatma is existent within all of these devatas. Or you are saying Rupam Rupam Pratirupam Bhava. One Paramatma has entered each being. Let it be. So, there is one Paramatma called Vishnu. And then there are different entities, Shiva, Aditya, Jiva, there are different entities. And you will do Upasana of Vishnu as those entities. So basically this is a Purvapaksha, this is the prima facie view, right? The view of an opponent. So what is the opponent now saying? He's saying, okay, so let me put another system, another interpretation of this for you and tell me how this is. So Vishnu is separate, Shiva, the Jiva, Aditya, Brahma, the Devatas, these people are all separate. They are different from Vishnu. Vishnu is different, these are all different. But because Vishnu is within these, you are now worshipping these people also as Vishnu. This is what other Siddhantas call as Antaryami. Wherever in Bhagavata you get things like where Vishnu says, I am Shiva, I am Rudra, I am Brahma. Other Siddhantas immediately say it is as Antaryami, it is not Abheda, it is Antaryami. Because Vishnu is sitting in their heart somewhere in some corner, that is why they are saying that Shiva and Vishnu are not the same as what other Siddhantas say. But that is the opponent's view. Now Bhagavad-pada is answering that. Bhagavad-pada is answering that, saying, Nano Pratika Darshanamidam Vishnu Pratimanyayena Bhavishyati. So Bhagavad-pada is saying, let this be Pratika Upasana. So these other devatas, Shiva, Aditya, Bhutas, Chaturmukha Brahma, the Jiva, let these all be Pratikas, symbols, representations of Vishnu. They don't have to be the same as Vishnu. Let them be representatives of Vishnu. So then we can say that all of these names apply to Vishnu alone, because Vishnu is in all of them, and Vishnu is separate. Why can't we take it like that? So for that, Bhagavad-pada is giving a response. Tad ayuktam. That is not yukti siddha. That is not logical. That is not rational. Why? Gaunatva prasangat. So then what happens is, wherever, for example, let's say the nama is Aditya, then what happens? You will have to take Gauna then. You will have to say, then Aditya no longer means Aditya, but when I say Aditya, I am actually meaning Vishnu through Aditya. So there is this is a mode of interpretation. This is a Shastric mode of interpretation wherein you need to keep the meaning and the word as close as possible, insofar as there is no conflict between the meaning and in terms of the actual paragraph, what this section intends to say and the meaning of the word. So the problem with the opponent's view is that if we say that Aditya is just a pratika, is just a symbol of Vishnu, and that it is not different from Vishnu, then by saying Aditya, you do not end up doing Stotra of Vishnu, you are doing Stotra of an aspect of Vishnu. So now this Vishnu Stotra becomes Gauna. Gauna means it is not Mukhya. The word does not mean its actual meaning. The word has taken upon a different meaning. So Aditya means Surya. Aditya no longer means Surya. You will have to take Aditya to mean Vishnu. You will have to say Aditya is a representative of Vishnu. Rather, if you say that Aditya is Vishnu, then there is no need to go to a different meaning. Because the meaning Surya, so the word Aditya means Surya. Vishnu is not different from the meaning of the word Aditya, and therefore there is no extra meaning that you need to seek out. You can keep the meaning of the word as is. That is one reason that Bhagavad-pada has said. Second thing is Vakya Vairupyacha. So this is another thing where, and also if that is the case, then 1,000 names do not make sense, Bhagavad-pada is saying. Why is that? There is one rule that Bhagavad-pada is now teaching us. Pratika drishtihi abhipreyate yatra hi pratika drishtihi abhipreyate sakrideva tatra vachanam bhavati. If it is only meant to be a representation, that will only be said once. You will not repeat that again and again. For example, there are some upasanas in Upanishad of Brahman. where it says Mano Brahma. So Mano Brahma means meditate upon the Manas as Brahman. So here it is indeed Gauna. It is not saying that the Manas is Brahman. It is saying meditate upon the Manas as a representation of Brahman. So here the same thing we talked about earlier is there. But because it is Gauna, it is not repeated over and over again. The Veda does not say Mano Brahma, Mano Brahma, Mano Brahma in 10 different places. In the same way, Aditya Brahma, meditate upon Aditya as Brahman. This is just a meditation. So Veda does not repeat this again and again. So where things are just a representation, or where things are Gauna, in there is no repetition. Only when it is Mukhya, means when the intended meaning is told by the word itself, in such cases there is repetition. When Tattvamasi comes 9 times in Veda, so in such places Bhagavad-pada says Tamahamasmi, Aham-tvamasi, and there are so many Veda Vakyas that Bhagavad-pada goes on to show Mrityosya mrityumapnoti iha nanev pashyati. The person that sees multiplicity goes from death to death. So Ninda is multiplicity. In the same way, Yatha Udakam Durke Veshtam Parvateshu Vidhavati Evam Dharman Prathak Pashyan Taneva Anu Vidhavati Dvitiyatve Bhayam Bhavati Yadvahyavaisha Etasmin Udaravantaram Kurute Ahatasya Bhayam Bhavati. So in many places in Veda, we see Ninda done of Dvaita. We see Ninda done of multiplicity. So if multiplicity was the intention of Veda, if it was Veda's intention that this is different from that, if Brahman is different from these Devatas, then what would Veda have done? It would have said, this is different from that, this is different from that, this is different from that in many places. But that is not the case. So now if we apply this to the Vishnusahasranama, also Bhagavad-pada is now saying, if these names Aditya, Shambhu, Rudra, Skanda, Dhata, if the names of all of these Devatas were intended to be representations of Vishnu, were intended to be pratikas of Vishnu, then there will be no need to tell 1000 of them. You would only tell one of them. Because as we see here, Mano Brahma is only told once. Meditate upon Brahman as a mind is only told once. Right? So if that was the same case, then there would only be one name of Vishnu. There would be no need for 1000. Because 1000 are told, we must necessarily accept that Vishnu is non-different from all of these things. Vishnu is Skanda, Vishnu is Rudra, Vishnu is Sharabha, Vishnu is Dhata, Vishnu is Prajapati. So we need to accept that, and Bhagavad-pada is showing that with Shruti Pramana. And then he is also showing Smriti Pramana then. Bhagavad-pada is also showing Gita Pramana here. Sarva Bhuteshu Yenaikam Bhavam Avyamikshate Avibhaktam Vibhakteshu. So Tadjnanam is Satvikam. This comes in the 18th chapter. So that Sattvika Jnana, a proper Jnana that is of the nature of Sattva Guna, Bhagavan says, Adhibhaktam Vibhakteshu, one that sees unity amongst seeming multiplicity. So that is what we are seeing in Vishnusahasranama. Aditya we are seeing is different, Shiva we are seeing is different, Skanda we are seeing is different, Sagaras we are seeing is different, Parvatas we are seeing is different. Amongst all of these though, we are taking all of these to mean Vishnu, and therefore Vibhakteshu, amongst these different things, rivers, mountains, Sagaraha, Samudraha, all of these names come right in this. Nagaha, all of these names come in Vishnusahasranama. So not even Devatas, even amongst all of these seemingly different entities, we are seeing all of these as one entity, which is Vishnu, Paramatma. And then Bhagavad-pada wraps it up with one pankti that summates all the things he has said so far. Tasmat Atmani Ishvare Mano Dadhita. Therefore, when reading this Vishnusahasranama, one needs to meditate upon the Atman that is Ishvara. Done. Finished. This is the Paramatma Siddhanta. So we have seen that Bhakti to Vishnu necessarily means seeing Vishnu as all of these, not seeing Vishnu as in all of these, not seeing Vishnu as represented by all of these, but seeing Vishnu as non-different from everything that exists in the world. So by each one of these 1000 names, Bhagavad-pada's goal for us by writing this Bhashya is that whatever we see in this world, Yachchakinchit Jagat Sarvam Drishyate Shruyate Piva, whatever we see or hear about in this world, we need to see that as Narayana. We need to see that as Vishnu. Vishnu is not sitting inside it. Vishnu is not different from it. Vishnu is not represented by it. Vishnu is not somewhere else from it. Vishnu is that very object. Everything is Brahman. Sarvam Hyetat Brahma. That is the goal of Vishnusahasranama. Now see the genius of Bhagavad-pada. Look at the karuna of Bhagavad-pada. In the parayana of one stotra, that is for not even a Vedantic treatise, it is 1,000 names of a devata. Bhagavad-pada has given us a highway to moksha by giving us the means to meditate upon every single thing in this universe is Bhagavan. Which is why, actually even Acharyas will tell many upasakas one thing also. Tajjala niti shanto upasita. Bhagavad Acharya says, this is there in Upanishad. Tajjala niti shanto upasita. Tajjalan is Brahman. Sarvam hedat Brahma. Tajjala niti upasita. Tatsma jayate iti tajjam. Tasma liyate iti tallam. Tasmin aniti iti tajjalan iti on. That is Shlota. Tasma. So everything, the world is born from this. The world dissolves back into this. The world lives because of this. That is Tajjalan. Iti Shantaha. And therefore the Upasaka must be Shanta. Because there is no cause to be disturbed. Only when there is something else. And that is what it is said here. Dvitiyadvaya bhayam bhavati. Only if there is multiplicity will agitation arise in the mind. When you see Advaita everywhere, when you see unity, when you see one Brahman everywhere, where is there cause for disturbance in the mind? Therefore the Upasaka will become Shantaha Upasita. Tajjalan iti Shanto Upasita. Is what Upanishad is saying. That is what Bhagavad-pada has said here as Tasmad Atmani Ishvare Manodadhita. All of these devatas, all of these things that exist in the world, including the Jivatma, all of these are Vishnu itself, not different. So that is the line that Bhagavad-pada writes here to sum up that vichara. Then Bhagavad-pada goes on to talk about one more thing. One thing that is very important for the Sahasranama is Manasika Shuddhi. So one thing that Bhagavad-pada is pointing out here is that the manas must necessarily be clean. So for that Bhagavad-pada says, Sahasranama Japasya Anurupam Manasasnanam Uchyate. So Manasasnana, how to take bath in the mind. So we take bath with the body to purify the body. Right? In the same way, there is a particular way to bathe the mind by which the mind becomes pure. So Bhagavad-pada has quoted some shlokas from Mahabharata here. Yasmin devascha vedascha pavitram kritsnam ekatam vrajet tanmanasam tirtham tatra snatva amruto bhavet. So that mind in which the Vedas, all the devatas attain unity as Brahman, that is the mind in which, having bathed, the mind becomes pure. This is one thing. Then there is another very nice shloka that is there in Mahabharata. Atma nadi sanyamatoya purna Satyah Hada Shila Tata Dayormihi Tatravagaham Kuru Pandu Putra Navarana Shuddhiti Chantaratma. This is actually told in another place to Yudhishthira by Bhishmacharya himself. But Bhagavad-pada quotes it here. So the Atma is a nadi. The Atma is like a river. There, Sanyamatoya Purna, restraint is the water that flows in this river. And Satyah Hada, there is a small lake next to it. That lake is called Satya, truth. Shila Tata, character, or the banks of this river. Dayormihi, the waves in this river are mercy, the quality of daya, compassion. Pandaputra, O Yudhishthira, Tatra Avagaham Kuru. You take a dip in that river and then you will become pure. Na Varina Shuddhiti Chantaratma. The manas does not become pure by vari, by water. Water does not purify the Antaratma. This river of the Atma, so Antaratma here is the manas. The Antaratma, so the river of the Atma, that is accompanied by Sanyama, restraint, Satya, truth, Shila, character, Daya, compassion, that such a heart becomes worthy of purification. So what Bhagavad-pada is saying is, when we do japa, one thing we need to of course see Vishnu as everything in this cosmos, but another very important thing that we need to keep in mind is that we need to have a pure heart. And with a pure heart, all of these things become grasped that much more easily. Then there is the next shloka that is being told. Tasya loka pradhanasya jagannathasya bhupate vishnor nama sahasram me shunu papa bhayapaham. So here a qualifier is being given for the names. So vishnor nama sahasram me shunu. Listen to the 1,000 names of Vishnu. What are the qualities of these names? Papa bhayapaham. They destroy all the fear that comes of papa.
And then Bhagavad-pada quotes 3 shlokas here from Vishnu Dharmottara Purana that are quite beautiful here. Ekasyaiva samastasya brahmana dvijattama namnam sahasram lokaram upakarakam shrunam. So he's just saying, the speaker is saying, listen to what I have to say about these 1,000 names. Then nimitta shaktayaha namnam bhedinyaha tadudhiranat vibhinnanyeva sadhyante phalani dvijattama. So each one of these names have shakti in different regards. So each one of these names has a power, has a capacity in a different regard. These all will give different phalas based on what that shakti entails. So for 1,000 names, these 1,000 names have 1,000 shaktis that will give 1,000 different phalas. Then yat shakti nama yat tasya tasmin eva vastuni sadhakam purushabhyaghra samyak krureshu vastushu. So there is another meaning to the word shakti. Shakti means the meaning of a word. So go pada is go yakti shakta. So the word go means the gakara and the okara, right? This is a word. This word has shakti towards the animal cow. So the relationship between a word and the meaning that it denotes is called shakti. So what this shloka says is, wherever a name has shakti, so whatever a name denotes, it will have a fruit relating to that, right? Which is why, for example, many names you will be told to do japa of some names based on what the name means. For example, in Vishnusahasranama, people will do japa of this one line. Rajya Priya, Rajya Lakshmi Ko Shanatha, Chaturanga Baleshwari, Samrajyadayini, Satya Sandhasa, Karamekhala. People will do japa of this if they want sambat. Why? Because look at what these names mean. Rajya Priya, Samrajyadayini, right? One that gives the Rajya Lakshmi, one that is of the form of the Shobha of Rajya. Koshanatha, one who is in charge of the treasuries of the kingdom. Chaturanga Baleshwari, one who is the empress of armies. So because these names relate to Vaibhava, relate to opulence, relate to wealth, therefore if you do japa of those names of Devi, you will get wealth. That is what this means. So whatever items or whatever meaning that the name of Vishnu denotes, whatever that name's meaning is, it will give a phala related to that, is what this shloka is saying. Saumya Kruresh, it will do both things. If you have Saumya meanings, if you have pleasant meanings, it will give that. There are some meanings where it is fierce. Ugra, Rudra, Simha. These all denote a fierce aspect of Bhagavan. In that case, they can give fierce phalitas also. The destruction of an enemy, the destruction of any sorrow that you are having. That also can be done. Then, Yani Namani Gaunani Vikhyatani Mahatmanaha. The last shloka of the Purification. Rishibhif Parigitani Tani Vakshyami Bhotaye. Bhishmacharya is saying. So, whichever names of Vishnu have been told by the rishis, I am telling you those. So now notice Rishibhi Parigitani. It is very important because all forms of Bhagavan are pure and all names of Bhagavan also are pure. But there are some names that will be mantratmaka, some names that will have the property of mantras. The normal human mind will not know that. But rishis like Vedavyasa Maharshi will know which shabdas, which aksharas will generate what effect when recited. And they will put together names with that in mind. They will give us the names of Bhagavan that can generate such effects. So Bhishmacharya is saying these are not names that some random person has cooked up. These are names that the rishis have given us for the sake of our welfare. Bhutaye. And then to wrap up, there is one last vichara that Bhagavad-pada does here. Atra nama sahasre adityadi shabdanam arthantare prasiddhanam adityadhyarthanam tad vibhutitvena tad abhedat tasyaiva stutihi iti prasiddhartha grahanevi tad samstutitvam. So it is just reaffirming. So there are some words that we see here such as aditya that are famous in other meanings, or that we have usually seen in other meanings, right? So because many of these meanings are also vibhutis, that is what Acharya is saying. So adityanam aham vishnuhu ityarabhya ekamshena sthito jagat ityadi paryantam gitasu. So in vibhuti yoga in Gita, Adityanam aham Vishnu, Jyotisham Raviram Shuman, Marechirvata, Amasya Nakshatrana, Aham Shri. Right, in that 10th chapter, there are a list of maybe some 15-20 shlokas, 20-25 shlokas, where Bhagavan says what all his vibhutis are. So there, what does the word vibhuti mean? We need to learn, we need to think about that. There are two meanings of the word vibhuti that the commentators have given there. Bhagavad-pada has given it, and also Madhusudana Saraswati also
has given these meanings in his Gudhartha Deepika of the Bhagavad-Gita. So, Vividham Bhavanam Vibhuti Athava Vishesha Bhuti Vibhuti. There both of these are there. So, Vishesho Bhavo Vibhuti. So, either a particular expression of Bhagavan is Vibhuti or a particular manifestation of Bhagavan. So, expression and manifestation, they are two slightly different things. So, that is what a Vibhuti is. So, we can take it here as a manifestation of Bhagavan is a Vibhuti. So, there are numerous Vibhutis that Bhagavan has talked about in Gita. Adityanam Aham Vishnu. Among the Dwadash Adityas I am Vishnu. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi. Among the 11 Rudras, among the Ekadash Rudras I am Shankara. Sarasam Asmi Sagaraha. Among water, among bodies of water in the ocean. Maharshinam Bhraguraham. Among Maharshis I am Bhragu. And Yajnanam Japa Asmi. Among Yajnas I am Japa Yajna, for all the reasons that we have talked about, because Japa is so great. And in the same way, Mriganam Cha Mrigendroham. Among animals I am the lion. Vainate Yashcha Pakshinam. Among birds I am Vainateya, Garuda. So all of these are vibhutis, expressions of Bhagavan. So in some cases, because these are expressions of Bhagavan, they are not different from Bhagavan. Even otherwise, as we have said, because Vishnu is the Atma Padartha, the Brahma Padartha that is one with everything in this world, these things are anyway Vishnu Swarupas only. But in some cases, they are also vibhutis, Vishesha Bhuti, Vishesha Bhavana, Vishesha Bhava. A place where Paramatma Tattva can be seen in a very special way. For example, in Mriganancha Mrigendroham, animalness is present in all animals, but animalness to a very great degree is present in a lion. So that is a Vishesha Bhava Vibhuti. So that is why some things, even though Bhagavan is everything, Bhagavan is every single animal, from a cockroach to a mouse to a deer to a dog to an elephant to a tiger to a lion, all of these are Bhagavan, no doubt. But as a lion, it is a Vibhuti, because animalness is expressed in a very special way in the lion. In the same way, Srotasam Asmi Janhavi. Among rivers I am, among flowing things, among rivers I am Ganga. Not that Bhagavan is not absent from other rivers. All the other rivers also, Kalindi, Yamuna, Godavari, all of these also are Bhagavan's forms only. But riverness is found in a very great degree in Ganga. Auspicious qualities of a river are found to a very great degree in Ganga, which is why Ganga is deemed a Vibhuti. So in some cases, even though Bhagavan is one with the entire cosmos, in some places these names will be explained as Vibhutis. And then there is one small note in the end that we'll take note of and then wrap up. Yatra Pullinga Shabda Prayogaha Tatra Vishnu Visheshyaha Strilinga Shabdaha Tatra Devata Yatra Strilinga Shabdaha Tatra Devata Visheshyate Yatra Napunsakanga Shabdaha Tatra Brahmeti Visheshyate. So the Pullinga Shabdas, so whatever names are there in the masculine genders, Sarvajnaha, Simhaha, Amrityuho, Ajaha, Guruhu, Ishanaha, Pranadaha, these are all in Pullinga. So when these all are in Pullinga, they will relate to Vishnu. There are some names that are in Strilinga, like Paramagatihi and Siddhihi. These are all in Strilinga. When they are Strilingas, they refer to the Vishnu Devata, because Devata is a Strilinga Shabda. So Vishnu Devata, they will find Anvaya there. Then there are some names that are in Napunsalinga, Parandhama, Pavitram, Mangalam, Param, things like this are in Napunsalinga. There they will find Anvaya Brahman, the Parabrahman. So in this way, you need to just understand all of these. Yatas sarvani bhutani ityarabhya jagad utpatti sthiti layakaranasya brahmanaha ekadevatattvena abhidatvat ado ubhayavidham brahma vishwashabdena uchyate. So because we have said that it is one Brahman that encompasses this entire world, and it is this one Brahman that is the cause for the genesis, sustenance and dissolution of the world, this Brahman is being shown in its two forms as Vishwam and Vishnu. The Devata is Vishnu that has entered all of this. Vishwam is what we see. So Ubhaya Rupam has been shown. So that is the Purification of Vishnusahasranama. To recap, what we have been focusing on is how Bhagavad-pada's conception of Bhakti plays into Vedanta. As we have seen, Bhagavad-pada has first and foremost shown that Bhagavan Namajapa is open to everyone, all beings. There is no Jantu, right? We have seen how Bhagavad-pada, Jantu Nam, Sarva Prani Nam,
there is no difference even in the life form also. All beings, as per yatha yogyam, as per their situation, as per their nature, can do japa of Bhagavan, number one. Number two, this Bhagavan is not different from other devatas. This Paramatma is not different from the Jiva. This Bhagavan should be worshipped as everything. That is the level of bhakti. You're not even saying you will see Bhagavan only here. Bhagavad-pada's level of bhakti is so great that he is stressing, as the Upanishads have stressed, as the Bhagavad-gita has stressed, as all the Puranas have stressed, that Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma, the devatas are not different. They are all manifestations of one Paramatma. And then in the end, Bhagavad-pada has finished it off by saying that the mind needs to be pure. The mind needs to be pure if we wish to attain the siddhi of japa. And on top of that, each one of these names are like mantras. Therefore, they can give us the desired fruit. So Bhagavad-pada has placed so much emphasis on telling us how great Vishnusahasranama is in the beginning of it itself, so that we will pay particular attention. We will have even more Shraddha when we go forward looking at the 1,000 names of Paramatma Vishnu. So, with this much of introduction, we will stop today. Tomorrow, in tomorrow's session, we will look at how Bhagavad-pada has used the Puranas through the Vishnusahasranama Bhashya, and with Acharya's grace, let us avail ourselves of this opportunity to look at the Vishnusahasranama with the meaning, and thereby derive even greater enjoyment from Parayana of this wonderful Stotra. इत्येषा वाङ्मयी पूजा श्रीमच्छङ्करपादयोरर्पिता तेन देवेशः प्रीयतां मे सदाशिवः तव तत्त्वं न जानामि कीदृशोऽसि महेश्वर यादृशोऽसि महादेव तादृशाय नमो नमः मङ्गलं स्तम्भडिम्बाय मङ्गलं मृत्युमृत्यवे मङ्गलं रौद्ररूपाय नारसिंहाय मङ्गलम्